r/AskReddit. What's something you used to believe as a kid that you now look back on and think WTF was wrong with me? Weird one. When I was like 4 I once put a bit of cereal in my belly button cause I didn't want the baby in my stomach to starve. I used to think that penises were something that both men and women had. I'm a girl. I did not have a penis as a child, nor do I have one now. I figured it was something that would eventually just grow in over time. Got really excited waiting for mine to grow. Really wanted to wee standing up, you know. Needless to say I was very disappointed when I learnt I was destined to live a life confined to the toilet seat. I was terrified to eat anything close to the core of an apple because I believed an apple tree would grow inside me. I thought grown women's nipples were really long and that the bra compressed them back into the boob. I used to think chocolate milk came from brown-furred cows. I used to always look for pink cows to see a strawberry milk creating one. For the first 7 years of my life, I thought my name was Oggy. I'm a female named Chloe, and when people would ask me what my name was, I would tell them Oggy. When my mother would call me Chloe, I would get angry, and I was certain I was Oggy. Took my mom, dad, and grandparents years before I accepted my actual name. I used to think dogs and cats were the same animal. Cats were girls and dogs were boys. Watching old movies and TV shows, I used to think the world was black and white until color was invented. Eating too many bananas could turn me into a monkey. My mum had a black and white TV in her bedroom, which was on the upper floor of our house. For years she genuinely had me believe that you could only get a black and white signal on the first floor, and that's why the TV wouldn't show a color picture. When I was super young, I honestly don't know where it came from, was quite strongly racist. I told my dad that I didn't like the black woman he was dating because she looked different. He sat me down, explained to me what my thoughts were and why they were wrong, and that black woman is now my stepmom and honestly one of the most inspiring people I have in my life. I look back now and think what the frick younger me, where the hell did you get racist thoughts from? But there is also a part of me that is thankful for going through this enlightenment whilst I was young and growing up with the value of acceptance. When I was 5, I thought that I was the only person in the world who could cross her eyes. I thought it was my superpower. As such, I would walk around school and do quite a few tasks while crossing my eyes. I didn't realize that 1. This was visible to those around me, and 2. Everyone could do it until a teacher asked what I was doing. Didn't learn until 4th grade that I can actually cross both eyes and just one eye. So in a way, I guess I was kind of right. When I was in preschool, my parents threw me a birthday party where Scooby-Doo showed up, who I absolutely loved. My little 3 or 4-year-old mind believed that the real Scooby-Doo had showed up to my birthday, and I felt so special. Fast forward to the summer after my freshman year in college, and I was hanging out with my younger brother. Somehow the Scooby-Doo birthday party comes up, and he breaks the news that Scooby-Doo was indeed not real, and it was my dad wearing a Scooby-Doo costume. It took a few days for that news to sink in. This one might be my dumbest. When watching TV I thought I could predict what the voices were saying, and say the same words at the exact same time as them in my head. Turns out I was just listening. I'd be laying in bed at night, terrified that a huge tidal wave full of sharks would engulf my house. I lived nowhere near water. When I was a kid I used to think that the train line that ran through my town to London was the only train line in the country and we were just mega lucky to happen to live next to it. I believed that a werewolf lived in the woods behind our house. I used to collect animal bones during the day and lay them out as bait at night, and when they were gone in the morning I took that as hard evidence. I once dragged an entire moose skeleton, piece by piece, from the woods to our house. My mother was not pleased. Kid, Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy only visit rich white kids. This is what I was told. I later found out that neither entity is quite so racist. Reality, they just don't visit non-believers, which makes sense. You wouldn't want a jolly old man coming in through your chimney uninvited. That actors would act in real time in a movie every time it was airing on TV. I used to think musicians were always in the radio station performing their song live on the radio when it played. Thought people hired suicidal people so they can die in the movies. First thought of that in Jurassic Park when that guy in the toilets get eaten by the Rex. I also used to believe strangers offering me free drugs would be a much more common occurrence. Unfortunately it seems that is not the case. That when my mom, pre-puberty and pre-acne, was helping me stay pimple free when she'd force me down and pick my face. Girls don't like pimples. Slap stop getting away from me. It ultimately led to a case of dermatillomania throughout my teens and early 20s. I still pick, but I've learned restraint and don't often mutilate myself anymore, only sometimes when really stressed out. I seriously thought then, despite hating it, that this was helpful and normal parenting. For a long time I thought holes would just randomly appear in your clothing if you smoked cigarettes. Holes in your clothes was one of the reasons they gave us to avoid smoking. They didn't specifically say that ashes will burn the holes, so I just assumed you would become some sort of grubby street urchin with Harley clothes because you smoked a couple butts. Wow, you made it and reached the end of the video. Subscribe for more Reddit contents. See you in the next video.